Hi pilots, Edward Hong here from the Scale Flight Club in the Republic of Korea. Before the water flight, I would like to give you some tips. In general, commercially available water float products are before attaching to the aircraft. It is necessary to mount some additional parts. If you mount these parts on the water float, you will enjoy a much more scaled waterborne flight. Please look at the water float. As you can see, the water float has a hull structure like a ship and it consists of 5 parts. The first one is the rudder. Most float planes have a water rudder attached to the stern of each float. The water rudder is attached to the rudder pedals and allows the pilot to steer the airplane in the water taxi. And the second is the step. Around the middle section of the bottom of the float, there is a noticeable change in the design angles of the hull or floats called the step. The keel stops at the step and the after section angles upward toward the stern. As the airplane picks up speed, the pilot puts the airplane on the step, which rips the rear section out of the water and reduces the hydrodynamic drag. The third is the chine. Along each side of the hull or pontoon runs a seam called the chine. The chine serves as a definite separator between the sides of the float and its bottom. This line helps guide the water away from the surface of the float, which reduces the spray as the airplane moves through the water and helps lift the airplane out of the water.
I used L-shape and T-shape plus strokes, which are architectural miniature materials, as shown in the photo to reproduce the chine.
And the fourth is the keel. The keel is a support structure that runs down the centerline on the bottom of the float to a hull. This structure resists sideways motions and keeps the airplane going in a straight line through the water.
And for the keel, a slightly larger plus stroke T shape used as shown in the photo.
And the last is the skeg. After all the step is a short extension of the keel called the skeg. The skeg prevents the airplane from tipping back on the rear portion of the float.
And I cut a plastic board to make a skeg. I'd like you to see the attached pictures for your understanding. 풀어 부족하다. 플러브는 못 키우니까. 아하, 안 떠. 안 뜹니다. 1% 부족하네요.
As you can see, as expected, the replacement of the power source, motor and electric speed control with the increased weight of the water float seems inevitable. First, I will increase the motor to Hobby King's prop drive 2836 to 700 kV, and the electric speed control will change to heavy wing 65 ampere to increase power. Check the thrust amperes of conventional motors and transmissions. Okay. Motor and electric speed control to replace. Now then, shall we work? The upper part of the fuselage motor mount cut to facilitate access to the motor mount backboard. This part will be filled with foam putty if the test flights successful. Okay, I extended the electric lines of the electric speed control to connect with the motors. Now proceed. Okay, first take out the propellers. Cut out the possibility for the easy access to motors. Take out the ESC. Take it out. Motors. 28, 36, 1000 kV. We'll change to 28, 36, 27 kV. Same size. Besides, I cut the exaggerated length of the current water floats and removed the unnecessary parts of each stunt to reduce the weight. Please check the attached pictures.
As you can see, I cut the stern of the water float 40 mm and moved the rudder. And servo has also moved from its existing location to the near CG. And I tried to reduce the weight of the water float strut by cutting out, as shown in the attached picture. For your reference, the current weight of the water floats are 515 grams.
Let's check the weight.
496 grams, 19 grams reduced.
It's a good job for Bix-3 power to increase. As you can see, the stun cut about 40 millimeters from the rear, and the strut was 2. And moved the server from here to here. And I added some weights here, about 40 grams. And I will check the CG of the water float, like this. Maybe this is the CG point. Get this. Okay, it's great. Now, all that's left the flight. In the next video, we'll unload the ground flight of Bix-3, then replace the power source and water flight. If the next flight is successful, we now move on to the pattern flight. Thanks pilots, and we'll see you in the next class. Have a good flight.